Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Elizabeth Chance podcast, formerly known as Busy Living Sober. It's episode 374 with Emily Hertzberg. Hi, Emily.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm going to tell everybody because I can't ever tell a lie. I've been having total technical difficulties. Emily's such a good sport. She's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We recorded a whole thing and then it wasn't recording anymore because I was in the different room and the internet stopped working. So we're on round two and it's going to be so much better. I don't even care because it was already good, but we're going to make it even better now. But Emily also is the founder and runs on Instagram Psoriatic Arthritis Warriors. Warriors. We need
Yep.
our warriors. Okay, before I go any further, we got to give a shout out to SoberLink. Getting sober requires a rewiring of the brain. Instead of reaching for a drink, we have to learn to reach for support. It can be hard, especially if you don't have something or someone to keep you honest. That's why I've teamed up with SoberLink. SoberLink's remote alcohol monitoring system is designed to help you sustain a sober lifestyle while rebuilding trust with loved ones. Small enough to fit in your purse or pocket and discreet enough to use in public. SoberLink devices combine facial recognition, tamper detection, and real-time results. So friends and family know instantly that you're sober and working towards your recovery goals. As a recovery coach, I can't think of a better tool to demonstrate your commitment to sobriety. Visit www.soberlink.com/BLS and receive $50 off your device and more information. All right, Emily. So here we are. I have to tell everybody this part about me because I don't always tell everybody that, I'm an alcoholic, which is one big thing. And then on top of it, I have psoriatic arthritis. And for one, why is this around now? Why do you think all of a sudden all these people are having these autoimmune diseases? Why do you think that is?
I think it could be environmental related. We're being exposed to a lot more toxins and chemicals and allergens also. I think, psoriatic arthritis stems from psoriasis, and 1 in 3 people with psoriasis do develop psoriatic arthritis later on in life. And I also believe I got psoriatic arthritis because I was a carrier for strep as a child. I used to get strep all the time as a kid, and strep actually never leaves the body. So strep develops a, kind of autoimmune hyperactive immune system response, and it causes the body to, get joint pain and inflammation and, the itchy red skin with psoriasis. So I think that my psoriatic arthritis definitely stemmed from the strep virus as a child.
Wow. So you guys, I just want to tell you guys, I have psoriasis. I've had psoriasis for a long time. It's on my hands. It used to be on my elbows all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother had it. So then I got this letter. I moved to Florida, but I got a letter from Penn saying all of a sudden, this was a couple of years ago. They're like, well, if you have psoriasis, we're going to give you this questionnaire. You need to go online and answer these. I think there were 5, 3 or 4, maybe it was 5 questions, 4 questions, whatever it was. But I got all the questions right. It was kind of like when I was an alcoholic. I was like, oh yeah, I got that. I passed these tests, unfortunately. And so then I went to the doctor at Mayo and they tested me and they said, yes, you have it. And I tried all those medications, Humira, Otezla, but I look at Phil Mickelson and I'm like, he has it. And how is he like doing this amazing life? What was your story? So strep is when you were younger, but how did you first did you get this diagnosis? What was your
So when I was a child, I had psoriasis in my scalp, mostly. And in my later 20s, right after college, I started to develop the joint pain and inflammation. So I was super active as a kid. I played soccer, then I played rugby in college. And then right out of college at like age 22, 23, I noticed that my whole body felt kind of like it got hit by a truck. I woke up one day and everything hurt. And I knew something was wrong and I didn't know what to do. And I kind of told my parents, like, something's going on with me. I'm not sure if it's autoimmune or what, but I was in so much pain and I was trying to teach art at the same time. I just got a new job. So they took me out of work one day, took me to their rheumatologist, and sure enough, my inflammation markers were off the charts. My SED rate, my CRP were so high that, the doctor looks at me and he's like, "Oh, you have psoriatic arthritis." And I'm like, "What is that?" Like, that sounds made up. Like I like laughed at him. I'm like, "You totally made that up, right?" And he goes, "No." He's like, "It's a real thing." And I was like, "Okay," but I'd never heard of it before and I don't know anyone with it. So, to be 23 years old and, the prime of my life and getting a brand new job of teaching and not knowing what to do or where to go or what medications to start or how to navigate this, I felt very alone and isolated and I had no one to talk to. Nobody understood what I was going through. So I started doing my own medical research and my own advocacy and seeking out treatment options and just seeing what my options were. And I started on sulfasalazine, then I started prednisone because my inflammation level was so high. And I kind of ballooned up and gained like 60, 70 pounds just in water weight from the prednisone. I didn't even look like myself. And then I tried Humira for the first time and it worked really well for me for 2 years. And then I developed a severe allergic reaction to it and I ended up in the hospital. My rheumatologist at the time didn't know what was causing the allergic reaction. And I said, "It's totally the medication. Like, clearly you're not going to be my doctor because you don't know the medications you're prescribing or alone the side effects or the allergic reactions to these medications." So I found a new rheumatologist that I'm currently with now, and I love them. And I've been with them for over 15 years. And I've tried everything from Humira to Remicade to methotrexate, which almost killed me. Methotrexate was the scariest medication I've ever been in my life. I almost went blind from it. I had severe papilledema in both eyes. I had severe brain swelling. I had to have 2 spinal taps. I was in and out of the hospital a lot, all while dealing with psoriatic arthritis and flares and everything. After methotrexate, I tried Otezla, which did nothing for the joint pain, only helped the skin. Then I tried Cimzia, and I was on Cimzia for 7 years, and it changed my life. I mean, barely any side effects. I felt great. And then this past summer, it was like my body goes, "Oh, time out. You're doing way too well. Here's a flare," and the Cimzia stops working and my knee blows up and, I'm having 150 cc's of fluid drained out of my left knee every, week or so. And my rheumatologist is like, "Guess what? It's time to try something new." So now I'm on Taltz and I just started it 2 weeks ago and got my loading dose. And it has literally changed my life. Like, my knee is a knee again. I have a kneecap. I can bend, I can move, I can stand, I can walk, I can function, but I want to just tell people that you should never, ever give up, never lose hope. And you have to just keep fighting. And this is a condition that will either make you sink or swim. And if you let it eat you alive, like, it's going to eat you alive at the end of the day. And I've dealt with it for so long now. And I try to help as many people as I can who get, the wrong diagnosis or are so old in life that they feel helpless or hopeless and they don't know what to do. And they haven't gotten the treatment, at a younger age, which could have prevented all this joint damage and deterioration. So I really try to kind of steer people on the right path, find that right team of doctors, find that right group of friends, find a job that's supportive of you. Like, my job is super supportive of, my limits. They know, I can't stand for prolonged periods of time. Sometimes I have to sit while I'm teaching and, they accommodate that for me. You really have to find what works best for you. And my advice to anybody who's getting newly diagnosed is just listen to your body. Don't listen to what doctors say. Don't listen to what your parents say or your friends. Listen to your own body and your own intuition. No one knows your body better than you do. And seek the right answers and the right people, and they will come to you, and find those treatment options that work best for you. But never, ever give up and never lose hope.
Well, I have to say, there's so many things. For one, you are a warrior, because I can imagine at 23 having your head and it itching and the flaking and all, and how embarrassed and how mean people can be, right? I mean, you've gotten through. I mean, that must have really hurt your self-esteem.
Yes. Psoriasis is one of those things that I try to rock anytime that I can. I have a current flare on my foot that I've been rocking for 1.5 years now. Ever since I had COVID, my toe is just so red, and people are like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with your toe? Is it burned or something?" And I'm like, "No, that's psoriasis." I rock it proud. I don't try to cover it or hide it. I don't care. I have psoriasis still on my scalp, behind my ears, on my face, on my elbows, sometimes it's on my legs, it'll pop up. But last year I actually had a student that had psoriasis, and she noticed it on my elbow. And she goes, "Hey, is that psoriasis?" And I go, "Yes." And she goes, "I have psoriasis too." And she's like, "My parents don't understand anything about it." And I was like, "Well, if anyone understands it, it's me." So we had a whole conversation about psoriasis, and we both decided we're going to proudly rock it. And I said to her that she could talk to me anytime she wants about what it's like having psoriasis, because I've had it my whole life. It was just so neat to connect with a student on a medical level and to kind of give her inspiration and hope.
Oh my gosh. And how old was she? Or is she?
She was 10 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Was this around forever? I mean, is this a new, I mean, it seems like it's so new. I mean, arthritis, I heard my grandparent, and I'm older than you. But I know that like my grandmother had it, there was nothing. They'd say, get into the sun, right? Wasn't that one of the big things? Go sit in the
Yes.
sun and it'll dry up. Isn't that true?
So I think my grandparents had psoriatic arthritis because they had the red, flaky, itchy skin and the horrible joints. And, they just called it red, itchy skin and bad knees back in the day. They didn't know what psoriatic arthritis was. They didn't know what psoriasis was. I think it's been around for years, like probably decades. And I think that they just didn't really give it a name or classify it as anything, just like eczema and dermatitis and vitiligo. These are all autoimmune skin conditions that really haven't come out to the forefront until like the last 15, 20 years. And now they're everywhere. I mean, I actually do light therapy for my psoriasis, and it really helps. I go once a week in a UV, I stand in a UV booth, and I just expose those areas that I have psoriasis, and it really helps. It kind of keeps everything in check, and it just keeps me from preventing, getting another flare. It really, really helps. But you have to be
And
careful with the sun.
oh, I know. As you can see, I was
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, I live in Florida now, so it's given me, I mean, I walk outside and I do all these things outside when I can, and it's not hurting too much. I don't take anything right now. I'm literally just taking vitamins because I took that methotrexate. It was horrible,
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Like enough, I think I took it for not even for a week. And I was like, throw this stuff away. I'm not taking this because this stuff just makes it, I feel like it's trying to kill you. I mean, the stuff
Yes.
that they give you is just worse than the
Yes.
right, the pain.
Methotrexate felt like poison to me. And it took me about 2 years for my body to recover from it. I couldn't even go out in the sun. I would get a rash all over my body from the sun because that's how poisonous that stuff was. Mosquitoes wouldn't go anywhere near me. I didn't have a mosquito bite for like 3 years after methotrexate because it's literally like a toxic chemical poison. I mean, enough that it almost made me go blind. Like I developed such severe side effects from the methotrexate that I said to my doctor, "Why am I going to see a neuro-ophthalmologist and a neurologist? Like, why do I have swelling on my brain? Why can't I see?" And then I started getting retinal hemorrhages. Like, it was just one thing after another. And I was so scared, thinking I had a brain tumor or something, when it was just this medication the whole time, like literally poisoning my body. So instead of, doing good, it was causing way more harm than good. And I said, if this is what, my life is going to be like, I don't want anything to do with this medication. So I wanted to, I got really scared after the methotrexate and wanted to kind of give up and not be on anything for a while because I was so scared that
Yeah.
my rheumatologist was like, like, let's let your body calm down and then let's try again. Let's try Cimzia. And I was so nervous about the Cimzia that like once I started it, I was like, I don't know why I was so afraid because it was just like a miracle drug for me. So
Yeah.
I'm proof that like you can be on something, almost die, have an allergic reaction, have spinal taps, end up in the hospital in the ER, and like come back to life and find quality of life and find a medication that really works great for you to really
And so,
calm down this.
and you work every day with kids. You said 500 kids a week, right? Is that
Yes.
500 kids a week? And you're on your feet. And do you ever have, like, does it ever get in the way of your work?
So work is really challenging for me because, teaching is a very physical job. My students are really understanding. My administration is really understanding. They understand that I have to take frequent breaks. I have to sit down a lot. I can't constantly stand and teach on my feet. I've adapted what I wear to work, the shoes that I wear, the clothes that I wear. I adapt, my teaching style. I have the students come to me instead of me constantly walking around the room. You know, students are really independent, which is great in art, and they don't need me to constantly hold their hand. But if they have a question or anything, they know they can come up to me and I can help them. I just find that, you know, people at work don't get or understand what a chronic autoimmune condition is, because psoriatic arthritis is considered an invisible illness. We don't look sick. We look great every day. You know, if we're not limping, people go, well, how do you have arthritis? You look perfectly fine. Like, you know, you're 40 years old. Like, you're too young for arthritis. That's what I got at 23. People were like, how do you have arthritis? Like, you're 23, you're so young. I'm like, well, guess what? Arthritis can strike at any age. Like, there's juvenile arthritis. That's kids having arthritis, you know? So people don't really understand psoriatic arthritis, I think, because they think, like I told you, it's like a made up condition, but because it's an invisible illness and we don't look sick, right? We look good. We look perfectly fine. Like, looking at me, you would never know I have psoriatic arthritis, or that some days I could barely walk or stand. But the thing is, it's like, unless you tell somebody what it's really like to come walk a day in our shoes, nobody gets it.
No.
Like, nobody understands what we go through. And it takes so much for us to get out of bed in the day, start the routine, get moving, get dressed, take the shower, you know, like, get yourself ready and amped and motivated to go to work. And then once you're at work, it's like, all right, I'm here. I got to get through the day, and then I can go home and crash. And that's what I do. I come home and I crash. I am so drained at the end of the day. It's like, I need a nap just to recover from the nap. Like, I'm so exhausted at the end of the day, but people have no idea. And most people with this condition can't even work. They are either on disability or they're home. They can't physically get up in the day and go to work. Like, and I feel so bad for people like that can't do it, because when I'm at work, I don't think about psoriatic arthritis. I don't think about what I can't do. I think about what I can do. How can I help my students? What can I do to make them feel better, make their day better? You know, how can I motivate and inspire others on a daily basis and change the world? That's what I think about when I'm at work. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Well, I have to say, your Instagram's so inspiring. You are so, like, that's why I had to reach out to you. I'm like, please come on my show, because I'm kind of like you. I don't want, and I don't even tell people most of the time, because again, like you said, I don't look like a sick person.
Nope.
Little do people know, like, my feet are killing me. I tried to play pickleball, and these girls are like sending me messages every day, like, let's play pickleball, let's play pickleball. And I'm like, I can't go and do this stuff all the time. I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I really limit myself on what I can do, because I don't want to get, does it get worse? Does it get worse? Do you think?
I've been on treatment for so long that I think I have actually saved myself. I think I've saved my joints. I've saved my body. You know, I've seen people who don't get diagnosed and don't get treatment, and they are so much worse off than I am right now at 40. And you know, these medications take a toll on the body. It's chemotherapy. It's like you're slowly but surely killing yourself, but at the same time, do you want to kill yourself or do you want quality of life? I choose quality of life over, you know, my body slowly deteriorating from these medications. I find that I try not to think about the long term. I just go the day to day. Like, I don't project. I don't want to think about the future. You know, I don't want to think about my lifespan. I just think about getting through the day, the week, the hour, the minute, you know, and just really living in the moment and embracing that. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, but I had a SCAD last year. I had a spontaneous coronary artery dissection. So I basically had a heart attack, and that was my body's way of telling me that it was time for me to kind of slow down. I was working a little too hard last year. And after the SCAD, my whole life changed. Like, I went from caring about everything to not caring at all, to letting things go, to doing more things that make me happy, you know, realizing just how short and precious life is. The SCAD was not related to my psoriatic arthritis, but I feel, you know, psoriatic arthritis does weaken the heart. It weakens the muscles of the heart. I do have a rare adrenal condition called hyperaldosteronism that contributed to the heart attack, that I've had for years, like my entire life, pretty much. We don't know where that came from, but could be genetic. Who knows? And I also got diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which I never even knew I had. So, you know, I have all this heart stuff going on. And, you know, last year when I had the scat, I said to myself, like, all right, like, life is really short. Like I could have died last year. And here I am, you know, it was my 40th birthday this year. I wasn't even excited about my 40th birthday. I was excited about my 1 year scativersary, my 1 year since my heart attack. That was more exciting and inspiring to me. I was so emotional that day when I woke up that my 40th birthday was like nothing to me. I was like, oh, I'm 40. Who cares? Like, I don't care about getting older. Like, I care that it's the 1 year anniversary of me surviving a heart attack. Like, and it was crazy because I went back to work after 2 weeks. Like, I was in the hospital a week. You know, I was in the emergency room and then ICU. And then it was like, I took a week off from work and then I went back to work. And people at work were like, wait, like, why are you here? And I was like, well, I don't know. Not even a heart attack can kill me. Like, that was my line. I was like, I'm so tough. Not even a heart attack can kill me. And like, I feel like I'm so much stronger now and I'm in such a better place mentally and physically because of the heart attack. Like, it had nothing to do with the arthritis at all. It was just like, I feel like I came back to life almost. Like it was my second chance. And I'm still here for a reason. And I'm still here, I think, to help people all over the world. And I'm proof that no matter what happens to you health-wise or medically, like just keep going. Like you can't stop. And you can't think negative thoughts. You have to stay positive. You have to be motivated and you have to just go for it because your life is in your hands. Like you have to really just keep going. And I'm proof that no matter what happens to you, keep going.
I mean, I love that. And it doesn't affect your social life, does it? Or does
Psoriatic
it?
arthritis?
Yes.
I mean, my friends understand that like I can't go to a concert and stand for like 6 hours. My friends totally understand that like I can't do certain things. You're not going to find me hiking or, you know, bungee jumping, like skydiving, like stuff like that. Like I'm not doing those extreme things because I really physically couldn't and you know, shouldn't. But I feel like my friends and family are really understanding and socially, like, I don't think it really affects me. Like, I think if anything, like I'm proud to say that I have it and I'll just share when I can. Like, oh, I have this condition, you know, and I actually have, you know, coworkers that have it too. And it's like, hey, I'm on Taltz now. So am I. Like, how's it going? Oh, it's going good. You know, like, and I've helped so many people at work who have autoimmune conditions and getting them the right treatments and their family members. Like so many people at work now go to my doctors because it's like, I'm preaching to the choir. Like, I'm like, hey, you need to do this, seek this doctor, ask these questions, you know? So I kind of feel like I'm helping everyone everywhere. I've actually had doctors and nurses come up to me at offices and been like, hey, I follow you. And I'm like, wait, time out. What? You follow me? And this nurse is like, yeah, I follow you. I have psoriatic arthritis. And I'm like, no way. You know, I'm at my dermatology office and this nurse just randomly comes up to me. And I was like, wow, I felt so honored. She's like, it's so nice to meet you. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, in what world are doctors coming up to me and nurses coming up to me and like saying what an impact I've had on their patients? Like, it's nuts. You don't realize how many people you're helping. And your podcast, I'm sure you don't even realize the magnitude and the impact and the depth that you're having helping people. Like you it's surreal.
It is. It's totally surreal. And but it's so important because I feel like there's so much out there and so many people are feeling alone ever since COVID, right? It's been terrible. And I changed the whole concept of my podcast to be just Elizabeth Chance because I want to share everybody's stories. You know, we all have different things. Just because I'm an alcoholic, that doesn't define me. My psoriatic arthritis doesn't define me. None of it does. We don't fit in boxes, do we?
No way. We are not one size fits all or one treatment fits all or one medical condition fits all. Like we're all beautiful messes. That's what I like to say, you know?
But to know that we're not alone is the best part.
Yes.
because when you first get diagnosed I mean, you were only 23. I was 52. And you're kind of ashamed. Like, again, you get this feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm a little different, but I don't think we should feel like we're a little different. I think we should
Never.
embrace it. Like you've been saying, the warrior that you are, the warrior
gotta
that
rock
comes
it.
out there. You got to rock it. And do you eat a certain diet that's different? Do you watch certain foods with it? Do you think that affect it?
Yes. So I highly recommend avoiding nightshade foods at all costs. Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, peppers, onions, anything that's super duper inflammatory. I also avoid a lot of fruits that are very acidic. I don't have like oranges. I don't have pineapple. I don't really have a lot of berries. I find that they kind of cause me to get really itchy skin. I drink a ton of water. That's made a huge difference. You have to really stay hydrated for your skin and your joints. It helps lubricate the joints. I try to avoid red meat. I don't have a lot of red meat. My primary doctor, he wants me to be vegan or vegetarian. And I'm just like, I have chicken here and there. I love chicken. But I actually also avoid certain seafood. Triggers me a lot. I don't have a ton of seafood. I'm allergic to some seafood. I have tuna on occasion or shrimp, but I can't really have salmon. Like I'm actually allergic to salmon and salmon roe. And but the Mediterranean diet's supposedly really good. And any anti-inflammatory diet is really good for psoriatic arthritis. You want to try to limit and avoid dairy. Dairy is a huge trigger, and sugar. Sugar, caffeine, all that good stuff. All the good stuff, you kind of have to avoid, but you can have it in moderation.
Now, you don't have any coffee at all?
I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. That's like my treat.
Okay, with
I used to have it like 3 times a day. Now I have it once. And my cardiologist is like, once is enough.
Do you have half and half with it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that's my
I put
dairy.
creamer in it. Yeah, I got to have a little bit of sugar, a little something. I don't drink my coffee black. No, I don't think I'd be able to do that. My dad used to have 3 cups of coffee black every day.
Oh my
gosh.
I
don't even know how he did that, but like I couldn't do it.
No. My husband does that too. He drinks black coffee. And do you drink alcohol?
So I eliminated alcohol for several years when I was in a really bad state of flare. And it really helped me. I've slowly started introducing it back. Like I'll have red wine now every once in a while, but even that I'm noticing is triggering my psoriasis. So, it's the sulfates. Yes. The sulfates that are in, wine and beer and alcohol. Like I don't have any beer whatsoever because beer is so inflammatory because of the hops and the yeast. Like people don't realize that beer is so bad for your joints. And so many people who drink beer are like, oh my God, my joints hurt, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, because you're literally drinking inflammation. Like you're drinking what's causing your body to have an inflammatory response.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And
no
if I do have alcohol, like once in a while I have vodka, like I like clear types of alcohol, but I really don't drink much. I try to limit it like once a week, if that, 1 glass or 2 glasses of wine. That's it. Like I don't really have any desire for it.
Okay. You're really lucky. And does it help that, and I'm going to bring up her name, even though you might not I don't know who likes her, who doesn't like her, but Kim Kardashian, she came out on her show and I always have to bring her up because we all have these, it's like watching a train wreck. We're like, oh my God, we got to see what they're doing because train wreck. It's terrible. It's like, there's an accident. I got to go check it out. But with Kim Kardashian coming out and saying that she also, I don't know if has she said she has psoriatic arthritis? Because I know she has psoriasis.
I don't know if she has psoriatic arthritis. I do know she has psoriasis. And so do several other celebrities, actually. But, my hero is Phil Mickelson. You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
And I love golf. My husband is a golf course superintendent. And, I got to see Phil Mickelson play a couple of years ago at Bethpage. And that was such a defining moment for me because I'm like, if he can keep going and keep playing golf and winning championships and have this chronic debilitating condition and look as good as he does and feel as good as he does, he was just my hero from such a young age when I got diagnosed, because I thought if he could keep going, I can keep going. you know, and you
Oh,
have to find someone that inspires you and someone that you can look up to and find that if they're going through it and they're okay, I got this. I can do this. And that's what I try to do on my social media. I want people to feel not alone, not isolated, and that they have some hope and someone to talk to and relate to.
oh, you know what? You just said my keywords. You got this. We got this. We got
We
this.
got
And Phil
this.
Mickelson is I love Phil, and my husband and I are both golfers. And so we're so into him. And I'm like, he's got it. He's got the same thing I do. And look at him. He's
Yep.
out there. He's winning championships. And you talk about one other thing I wanted to bring up is that you talk about going in and, you can get paid to do trials. What is that people can do? And I know you have all this information on if you go into your, what is it, what do they call that you go into? In your
Linktree.
Linktree. I don't have a Linktree. I think I need one. But
Oh,
anyway,
Linktree is awesome.
see,
So there's a company called Rare Patient Voice that I'm in collaboration with. And what you do is you go onto Rare Patient Voice and you sign up, and you can actually get paid to do clinical trials, to do medical research, to do surveys about medical research. Some of these interviews are in person. Some of them are online. And what they'll do is once you've logged in and registered, they will email you and send you all of the things that you qualify for, all the different studies that you qualify for. I mean, some of these are $150. Some of these surveys are $50. It all depends on what type of conditions you have. And if you have multiple conditions, they're definitely looking to talk to you and want to have you participate. And if you just use my referral link, I have it in my link tree, and you just sign up, it's like you could use my name, you can even put Emily Hertzberg as the referrer, and they will start sending you all kinds of opportunities to make money just from sharing your experiences and what you've been through with these conditions, which I love. I think Rare Patient Voice is so important.
oh, I agree with you 100%, because how are they ever going to get research if they don't have the data from real people, right? Real patients that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
And is there a lot of research going into some cures for us?
So I feel like psoriatic arthritis is definitely in the forefront of medical research right now. More people are getting diagnosed, more people are seeking treatment. And you'll notice that so many more treatment options are becoming available for psoriatic arthritis because so many people are getting diagnosed now. What doctors didn't know 5-10 years ago, they all know now. And I find that we as patients are now educating our doctors. Every time I go to a doctor's appointment, I feel like I'm schooling my doctor. I'm actually, giving them advice for their patients, or sharing a story with them about a medication I've tried or something that I've done differently in my lifestyle. And I feel like the doctors learn more from the patients than the patients are learning from the doctors at this point. And I think it's so important for patients to become patient advocates and to share their stories and their experiences, because these doctors can diagnose and prescribe any medication, but they don't know how it's making us feel or how we're responding unless we share what's going on, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, I feel like we have to do that as patients because we have to have that voice. Without that voice, it's like it falls on deaf ears. You're going to be gaslit your entire life. So you really have to find your inner voice, find your strength, and just keep going. Tell your doctors. And if you're not happy, find a new doctor. Life's short,
Yeah. Oh, you've been so wonderful. It has been so great meeting you. I just love everything you're doing. Keep going. You guys, if you're out there and you have this, or you have a family member that has it, please go follow Psoriatic Arthritis Warriors on Instagram. And Emily, thank you so much for taking your time today. Thank you for helping all the kids paint. I wanted to ask you one last question, because I'm a painter. Do you paint now? Do you paint yourself?
I do. I prefer acrylic. It's just easier, and less toxic. It's just, I don't know. I find it's fun because it's easy to mix colors and super quick. And, art is great therapy. And what I tell a lot of people with psoriatic arthritis is find something to de-stress, to get you in the zone, to get you to kind of just mellow out, especially if you're having a stressful day or a stressful situation. Like, stress is a #1 trigger for psoriatic arthritis and psoriasis. So in order to avoid a flare, find an activity that's going to calm you down, soothe you, whether it's listening to music, playing golf, just being outside, being in nature, going for a walk, painting. Just do something, read a book. But like,
Yeah.
I find that once you find something that you really love to do, you have to just do it. Find the time to do it. Really. And it's been so nice talking to you too. I love
my gosh,
meeting fellow warriors. I
I
love it.
know, I'm another warrior. Thank
love
you
it.
so much. And you guys, you're going to be able to find all of Emily's information below in my description on YouTube and on my website, elizabethchance.com. And until next time, everybody, keep getting out there, and you got this. You got this. You can do
You got this.
You got this. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye, Emily.